G'day and welcome back to the OCE Championship League Play number 2. Of course, I'm joined here by Jake and Courier Lord. Myself is Wolfie. But we are heading into, I guess, the second half of the day, and Ground Zero going now 0-6 in League Play.
They've had a rough start. Tainted are looking so good. Chiefs are obviously so good. It's really hard for Ground Zero to show the kind of team they are against those kind of teams.
Yeah, I think this is probably where it starts for Ground Zero. The journey actually begins here. Versing two RLCS teams that are probably just going to stomp everyone else in the competition is not the starting spot. This is their first match. Starting
0-6 isn't exactly the best, but I mean, if you can work your way up from there, and this next matchup is Chimpwits versus, of course, as we've just said,
Ground Zero.
Ground Zero. Yeah, you know, I just forget things all the time.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So happens to go play-by-play. It just like slowly filters out everything else.
Yeah, that's right. So for Ground Zero, they're looking for a bit of retribution, right?
Yep.
They've kind of gone, we haven't beaten at all. We've versed or came up against the two strongest teams in League Play.
Yep.
We now have a lot of matches which, in our minds, is probably a bit easier to win in comparison. And now Chimpwits, as well as their kind of first day or game of the day, goes, we're up against Ground Zero. Can we make something work here?
Chimpwits have also had a tough start, only playing against Tainted Mines last week. They took a game though, so
I guess winning infinitely better.
I guess a bit better, but yeah, we really haven't seen either of these teams in their element. Either of these teams comfortable and ready to play the game they want to play.
Yeah, so this is going to be the first showing for both teams. The big takeaway for me is looking at how they went in the qualifiers was quite different.
Okay.
You had Ground Zero who destroyed everyone, and Chimpwits was a bit hit and miss.
Let's hope that Chimpwits are growing as a team then. Because again, I don't even know what to make of those qualifiers anymore. Because it's like, Ground Zero were amazing, and then we saw them recently, and it's like, Ground Zero aren't amazing.
Yeah.
So it's hard to pick this one. It really is.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of though we're judging it. I mean, the tier S teams essentially against the tier 1 teams, right? So there is that differentiation factor between Chiefs and Tainted Mines against the rest of the competition.
I really think, as Ground Zero, you can go, okay, we played so bad. We played so bad.
Okay.
Those teams, damn it. They're the top 2 teams, though. They're very clearly the top 2 teams right now.
Yep.
I think they can really reset, go, all right, guys, let's finish this season 5-2 and just have a really strong rest of the season.
Yeah, I think with CJM as well, he's a player that I expected much bigger things out of.
Yeah.
So, looking objectively at this matchup here, I mean, who would you choose to win between them?
Again, so hard because you haven't seen either team not play a top team yet, right? I'm going to go Chimpwits just because I love them. But I really don't know, so I'll go Chimpwits 3-2. Billy's going to win. Billy's going to win.
So he's going with his heart. I'm going to go with the head.
Oh.
I think it's going to go the other way. I think Ground Zero is going to win.
Okay.
But I do think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, I think close is like pretty safe prediction.
Pretty safe prediction, yeah. So for me, I'm going to agree with Tom here. I think that it is going to be Ground Zero taking it out, even though we have seen... That's right.
Very respectable opinion.
You're on the Billy fan club, weren't you? Was the name of your team?
I'm still on the Billy fan club, bro. Come on.
Just so those, people watching out there don't exactly know, but there's a player named Requiem, and his actual name is Billy. But Jake, you used to be on his fan club. As your old
we had him
teammate.
as sub. I love Requiem. He's the best. I hope he wins.
I feel like you say that with a smile on, being like, I really love him here.
I love him!
Alrighty, well, Jake, if you just head off to the side there, Chimpwits versus Ground Zero. This is game number 1, and Delusion being the man that we want to look at. Lim, Ground Zero in defense. It is sitting above the net. Such a close opportunity. Delusion for a bit of a shot there.
Delusion is third man. That's a bit of a surprise for me. I normally expect him straight up in the action. The rest of the team having to work around.
We spoke about them last week, saying that Delusion is one of the strongest players in the region, and a quick shot seems to be working out for Chimpwits. The pressure stays on, but the pinch away from Walcott. It is a 1-0 lead for Ground Zero.
I want to see a strong showing from Walcott. It's a good start to see him involved in the action, but after last week's performance being quite lackluster, it's good to see him coming out roaring.
Chimpwits, 30 seconds down and already on the back foot. Maybe Jake will be eating his words, but I feel like Ground Zero are going to be the dominant force in this series. CJM wanting a bit of retribution, I guess, from the last couple of series against Chiefs and Tainted Mines. Walker has the touch. Off to Lim. CJM, a good pressure play. Comes out. Now Decker. He misses the wall clear. So does Walcott. The double miss comes out. Requiem now gets the clear.
Lim not in position either. Caught with his pants down in that situation. The goal from Decker. You can't cost those things.
Ground Zero. Not exactly too clean on the defense there, but Decker making full advantage of it. A minute down and it's already 1-1.
Yeah, some miscommunication there from Ground Zero, completely capitalized on by Chimpwits. It's good to see that when they see the opportunity come out, they're not afraid to run forward in action.
Chimpwits needing to make their mark in league play, so too Ground Zero. Requiem gets the shot off. Look at the patience from Lim. Pass off, but Delusion almost read that so well. Deca. CJM to Walcott. The double commit from Ground Zero. This is not what they wanted. There's no one for the follow-up pressure. Now Requiem, the touch up. Deca again gets the clear. This could be the chance Chimpwits needs. Delusion off to the side. But now Walcott. Not the touch he wants. Requiem. Now touch aside to Deca.
Good contest there, but now the ball is up. Delusion to finish. The touch not quite what he needs, but it's great to see that Chimpwits are utilizing their entire team when trying to create this pressure play and bleed Ground Zero dry of boost.
Walcott just wanting to make any sort of play he can. But Delusion passed away to Deca. I really like this from Chimpwits. They're trying to get those passes that a lot of the top tier teams do, and whether or not it works out for them is yet to be seen. 2 minutes down, still 1-1.
The evolution of Deca as a player. Last season, it was his entry level. He was a bit green, but he has had so much growth, and now he's a strong contender on the pitch. We're seeing him help lead the charge of Chimpwits.
Now CJM off to the side. Lim is there instead. Bit of awkward rotation from Ground Zero. Not too much pressure being laid on. Deca with the boomer of a clear. Lim needs to get to this one. He does. CJM touched away again. Requiem has the challenge. The Dominus working out so well for him right now. Deca cleared away. Walcott touched off to the side. I think it might have been better for them to pass it off to CJM, but Walcott rotating back. Now Requiem takes a quick shot in net. It's sitting above goal. Can Ground Zero clear it out? They can. Look at the wide rotation from Delusion there.
I know, it's so strange to see him with the wide rotations deep in the back and working more as a team player rather than the star scorer that we saw last season.
It's good to see that they're putting in the time and effort to practice, and bit of awkward touches from both sides there. The demos, the bumps, not exactly working out in either side's favor.
But Chimpwits showing a strong offense, pushing forward into the opposition's half. They had that great pressure play before, but they're struggling with the shooting and conversions.
Chimpwits wanting to do something here. Ground Zero on the back foot for the majority of this game, but trying to make these passing plays work. Delusion up to Deca. So much room, so much time. It's off the backboard. 3 players from Ground Zero in net, sitting there wanting to clear it away.
I think it's a bread and butter play
yes,
for them.
The blutter.
Yeah, the old blutter. Yeah, we have seen quite a few situations where Deca's hit it up for Delusion to finish, but unfortunately the Ground Zero defense has had a perfect read and shut it down.
Yeah, it's similar to a lot of the games we've seen, at least in last week's league play, where these teams had about 75% of it right. They got the passes in, they got the plays going, but just can't quite finish.
And it's strange, Delusion was that critical play to knock down. Another opportunity coming out. The goal is up, but unfortunately, defense too strong.
Ground Zero sitting in net. Not what they need to be doing in defense. They need to challenge it in the midfield to get it clear. Walcott doesn't have enough boost. Deca, a bit of an awkward touch straight over to Lim. Now to Delusion. Back to Lim. Lim does not have the rotation to get there. Requiem with a nice clear off to Walcott. You can see CJM is waiting on the right-hand side there. Lim doesn't get the touch he wanted. Delusion tried to solo play it out. 30 seconds remaining, still 1-1 in this matchup. It could be anyone's game right now, but now Lim, he's up for it. Walcott sitting in the back lines.
Now they've got the opportunity to push forward. A lot of players coming out from Ground Zero. They are dedicated to this attack, but unfortunately they're struggling to push through as Chimpwits once again go for possession.
Chimpwits have it in Ground Zero's half. Whether or not they can make something of it. Requiem, he gets a touch. It's a bit awkward sitting in the corner. It's open net. Delusion is there. 4 seconds. Delusion does it.
If you're going to score, that's the time to do it. Delusion has come out. We've now seen the fruition of their strategy of leaving him as that third man as the other two open up the net. It's paid dividends and it's taken them out the game.
Well, seems like Jake is right. Chimpwits have taken away game 1, but there is 4 seconds left. Ground Zero, I think, have lost this individual game, but it is so close. Both of these teams playing a very similar kind of aggressive playstyle. CJM to Requiem, and it touches the ground. Chimpwits take game 1.
It's a great showing by both sides, incredibly even as we did think it was going to be on the desk. But the big takeaway for me, and the thing that really surprised me, was just how coherent and like the composition of Chimpwits. It's working so well together. The team play is there. They're happy to have these clean rotations, and Delusion's way back.
Well, Delusion was definitely playing way more passive than we're used to seeing. But I have to say, I don't think that it's like clean rotations from either of these teams, because a lot of the time there's a miss there and it kind of puts someone else out when they're like, oh, I'm going for boost. Oh, I need to be back right now. And especially in that midfield, there was no challenges from Ground Zero, because a lot of the time we saw, you know, Delusion would bang it to the backboard, and then there's 3 players from Ground Zero net being like, please don't hit it in, please don't hit it in, please don't hit it in.
So I was talking relative to what I was expecting, where Chimpwits being a roster of entirely kind of players that haven't had as much time together, Delusion was a very late pickup for them. I expected it to be 3 individual players that are kind of doing a pub game, but there was some level of cohesion there that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Because you did have like the passes, you didn't have Delusion go forward, kind of be that aggressive, greedy player that's going to get all the scores.
Yeah.
He was happily, you know, being part of the team.
Yeah, instead of saying, you know, I'm the golden boy, my team is, you know, they're obviously a little bit weaker than what I'm used to, but, you know, still making it work. And Chimpwits have made it work for game 1. It's 2-1, quick lead from them. We're heading it straight into game 2 as I do finger guns. I don't know.
2 finger guns in 2 games.
2 finger guns for game 2. Now, I'll make it 3, but that'll be off the desk, of course.
Either way, Delusion starting off strong as he pushes forward into Ground Zero's half. That demo could be critical, but unfortunately losing possession is going to cost him.
Delusion trying to stay aggressive. Now Requiem. Lim is underneath him, gets the touch. CJ to Lim. No. Unfortunate touch from him. Ground Zero. They wanted to make something happen there. Deca a little bit too fast to the ball for his opposition. Delusion, he's up for it. The double miss from both teams here. The plays are just not quite there.
It's strange. Ground Zero was so dominant in the qualifiers. I mean, they managed to take down Tainted Minds. You don't do that by not having some level of teamwork, having the connections going through. But today, we're just not seeing any of it.
Yeah, well, you know, in comparison to how Tainted Minds played the last game against Ground Zero, they were playing so well, both these teams, and I feel like it's just 2 very different teams on the pitch right now. Yeah,
CJM's really struggling. Another misconnection there. Last season, he was one of the strongest scoring players and could individually carry you through nearly to the top 4.
The passing plays there. Billy could finish it off. No, he doesn't. Delusion touched away again. Walcott gets the challenge. A really nice one from him. Lim cleared away. Requiem off to the side to Deca. Back to Requiem. This could be the play. No, it's not. CJM, see again there, a key miss, making that game. Oh, the demo works out so well for Lim.
Ella props there for Walcott. What a way to open up the net for his teammate. He sees Lim's approaching. You could hear it through the comms as he just has that nice little walk-through goal. Requiem not in time.
3 minutes and 30 seconds down. Ground Zero making quick work of the Chimpwits defense and saying that this is our series, this is our matchup. Now Deca. He's up and clearing it. It goes onto the backboard. Walcott rotating out there. Lim allowing his teammate to rotate through a little bit slow from CJM, but it seems to be working out so far. Deca goes for the touch. So does Lim. The backboard for Ground Zero. They maybe need to change it up a little bit. Make sure that they can get those midfield passes or something, because seems to be working out for the first goal, but the actual finishing goal of the series is not what they're getting there.
Yeah, they're really struggling with that. You can see they had 3 men go instantly onto attack. Nothing came of it. No shots were even close to conversion. And now they've just passed possession to Chimpwits, and for what? Not much boost in exchange.
The 1-2-3 play. Oh, Lim with a quick defense. Delusion off the side again. Now Requiem is the last line of defense. Can Walcott do it? He can. He beats one, but Deca was rotating fast enough to get there. The shot, the pinch away from Ground Zero. They're getting in each other's way.
Yeah, there's some lack of communication coming through. Or maybe it's they haven't had the instinctive time to build up that touch and make sure they know where each other's going to be, and they still need to work on that.
Now the backboard play from Ground Zero. Lim's up for it again. Delusion, he jumps, he misses, so does Walcott. The misses from both these teams being so detrimental.
Well, I think it's all the pressure they're under, right? This is their first real match and opportunity to take a win.
Whoa, real match?
Real match in the sense they burst Tainted Minds before. Both teams weren't expected to make these wins, but both of these teams, the entire desk was split. This is a critical win that can decide whether or not they're making top 4 early or if they're playing behind all season.
Well, Chimpwits are still a game up here. Ground Zero wanting to make their mark within league play, and going 0-7 so far is not the best scoreline. But Chimpwits needing to do something. Walcott to center. CJM a little bit awkward. Deca with a free shot on net. That is straight in. Chimpwits even up the scoreline.
Yeah, good read with the counter attack there. Just straight over and out. As Ground Zero once again have to overcommit to even try get through the Chimpwits defense.
I honestly thought Ground Zero would be playing much better than they are. Like, I'll be honest with you. They're playing awkward. They're missing the balls that they shouldn't. And I think that they because they've played against those teams that never miss the ball, right? Chiefs, Tatum Mines, never miss the ball in offense. And now Ground Zero coming up against a team that has a little bit more of an awkward play style is very difficult. But now the shot comes out from from Chimpwits against Ground Zero. Now CJM tries to retaliate. It's an open net. No, it's not. Deca is there. Now Walcott into center. CJM is a little bit too slow. Delusion, see how fast he is. The old golden boy of OCE. Delusion, no, the respect and trust. CJM has an open net. Ground Zero take the third goal.
That's when you don't want your greedy little self to come back. That contest hoping them a free goal to CJM. But it's the rest of Ground Zero that want to step up. They can't rely on Chimpwits to feed them goals. They actually need to get them themselves.
It came off the back of Delusion's mistrust for Requiem. Whether the communication wasn't there or Delusion said, no, I need to touch this. I have the experience. This is my game.
I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Once your teammate has committed that hard, you can't go in as well.
Yeah.
You got to trust.
Well, it was the 11th hour, and Chimpwits now have a minute left in this matchup in order to even it up, but they still are one game ahead in the series.
Yeah, and with 53 seconds left on the clock, they are down, but certainly not out. It has been incredibly tight the whole way through. Another opportunity coming here.
Ground Zero, Lim to Walker. Oh, he almost got the nice touch. He really wanted to get that one to even out this game and make sure that they have the clear victory. CJM goes for the roof shot, doesn't quite get it there. Delusion now off to the side. Lim with a boomer of a clear. Double commit from the side of Ground Zero. 25 seconds remaining in this matchup. Walcott with a banger. CJM just puts the pressure on. The bump from Walcott. They're trying to take a leap out of Tatum Mines' book there, Courier.
Oh, but they're in a dangerous position. All three of them overextending. They have that lead. They can sit on it. You don't need to go all in. Take advantage of that 1-point leverage and just play it a little bit safer.
Oh, the quick demolition and respawn for Delusion works out in Chimpwits' favor, but the pressure from Ground Zero means that this game is all but done. It is now 1-1 in the series.
I mean, they may have got that win, but it wasn't off the back of them doing that a huge step up in terms of play. We still had that goal coming from a free pass from Chimpwits, which would have meant it would be 1-1 going to that overtime.
Well, Ground Zero had so much of the pressure there. Those last 2 minutes of that game was all Ground Zero saying, pepper the backboard, and, you know, trying to make any or quick work of Chimpwits, and they couldn't exactly clear it out. Chimpwits didn't exactly have, not necessarily the rotations, but they just weren't getting those boomers cleared.
But on the flip side, Ground Zero was struggling to shoot. I mean, considering they had possession and pressure for so long and managed to get one goal, the other one being the freebie, there was nothing to do with actual pressure play.
I mean, in my mind, right, is that if you're pressured all the time and you're not exactly clearing it out, it's more about you're playing and it's eventually going to go in at some time, but whether or not, you know, you can actually clear it out is a different factor. And for Chimpwits in those last 2 minutes, it just wasn't really happening for them. They weren't, like, gelling that well.
Yeah, it was an interesting to see the way it works out. And Deco, it seems to be the player that's performing best, I would say, coming out of Chimpwits, which surprises me because, you know, Delusion statistically is the second best player in the region if you're looking at last season, but it doesn't feel like that. He feels like one of the boys, which is a testament to the boys. Testament to Deca stepping up and playing so consistently as well. But you lose that superstar factor. You may have gained something in the teamwork, but I don't think that trade-off has been worth it.
Well, I think that they've been playing a lot together, and I think Delusion needs to take that little bit of a step back and say, oh, my team is actually all right, because there was that pivotal play where Requiem came in for the challenge, but the ball came straight off the side of Delusion and CJM scored it. Now game number 3 kicks off. Can Perth Ground Zero retaliate themselves back into league play, or can Chimpwits snuff them out completely? Delusion off to the side. Walcott has the control. Requiem gets dunked by Walcott. It's sitting in front of net, but Delusion again gets a really nice clear. Lim trying to make these backboard plays a little bit too slow, but the banger from Delusion.
Yeah, Ground Zero, once again, 3-man offense, potentially punishable, and there's the punish. The shot not in, the connection still not there, but a monster clear.
Both teams wanting to make quick work of their opposition, but can't exactly finish it off. The fake challenge from CJM works out in his favor. The pass into center to Deca. It's open. Deca has scored 45 seconds in.
They have taken the lead ahead of Ground Zero, putting themselves in a great position. We saw that they were struggling to break through last game, so having this leverage so early in allows them to play a little bit safer and not have to take those big risks.
Such a smart play from Delusion. Instead of going for that challenge, he passes it off to the side, goes straight into Deca, and Deca says, thank you, sir. I'll take a quick goal. Chimpwits Now a minute down in this match and they are already 1-0. The early lead is always what you want in these tight matchups.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the pressure off. Delusion coming forward. That's what I want to see. The scoring potential of having that superstar player.
Superstar player indeed. Look at the challenge from Deca. And Delusion goes up for it and says, it's awkward for my opposition. I can have my 2 players in offense and I'll still be able to score this goal 9 out of 10 times.
I mean, CJM was at rear post. Perfect opportunity to try had that defense, but he just was caught unawares.
Now 1 minute down and 2-0 victory for Chimpwits. Requiem gets a good push off into the center. Deca tries to touch the ball. Now ground zero. Requiem still waiting off in the wings. CJM's up for the challenge, but doesn't quite get there. Now Deca into center. Lim just receives that and says, thank you, sir. Passes it off to the side. Delusion, he tried to go for the solo play. Now Walcott. Look at the play as well. The challenge from CJM, a little bit awkward there. Playing a little bit too fast, more than he could think. But the shot, oh, the Chimpwits challenge, that should have been a goal.
Yeah, CJM as well managed to do a yummy flip and has now been locked out as the pressure keeps pushing forward, but they're just managing to survive in the nick of time.
Chimpwits playing so well right now. Ground zero, wanting to make their mark back into this game. But the good news is that they've made their first game of league play, which is always really nice. So even if they lose this matchup, yeah, a little bit bittersweet. But look, Deca, he walks away with the goal. He just takes the quick clear and says, thank you, sir.
Deca's like the king of debating. How many times have you seen in this match that Deca sits back, he's so close to his own goal, draws the entire ground zero roster to him, and just like throws the ball over them for the score?
Well, I don't think Deca even expected to score that. I thought he was trying to go for a clear and then, you know, there was someone there, but it was just a bit of an awkward touch, and it seems like ground zero need to speed up their gameplay, make sure that they keep their consistency up, because it's not what they need right now. They're a little bit too slow, and also just not in the right spots at the right time. Delusion, another quick goal.
You got to learn from your mistakes. This is back-to-back goals where you've had a triple offense. No one even close to rotating back. You haven't had the pressure beforehand before you're moving those players forward. It's all good and well to have 3 men come up, but you got to have such a disgusting amount of pressure that you're not going to get punished from a really simple clear. Delusion didn't have to work for that, and he shouldn't have scored off it.
Deca waiting in the wings. Delusion. It's just Requiem in defense. You see the awkward wide rotations from Chimpwits, but seems to be working against ground zero. Ground zero have changed. They are not as aggressive as before, and those non-challenges in midfield, Chimpwits have made quick work of. Now Requiem challenged away, passed straight into Deca. Quick instance of right place, right time. And now Billy with a beautiful boomer of a clear. The backwards look. You can see how aware Deca's trying to be. He's trying to make sure that
that's the play I wanted to see. That's the play. 3 men coming up, working together to try get an offense. It may not have converted into the goal, but it was a great shot.
Ground zero wanting to make quick work of this. A Walcott with a quick shot. A Walcott? Yeah. Now Delusion. To Walcott. Billy, it is sitting right in front of the net. The quick challenge from Delusion. The no boost challenge seems to be working out for Chimpwits. A 4-0 lead. They are sitting pretty comfortable right now.
The awkward situation, we had all 3 of them run up. They did the 3-man offense again. They should have been punished with another counter-attack goal, but they had the opportunity to score. They sit in the midfield with 2 players, none of them having the confidence now to run forward because they're so far behind, and they're losing the opportunity to score when they do actually arrive.
Delusion passed it straight over to Deca. A good position from him to be in, but he couldn't quite get there. Requiem touched away, sitting in front of ground zero's net. Chimpwits want to make something happen here. Lim has a bit of time, but no boost. But again, the double challenge works out. CJM now has control, goes for the solo play instead, beats out one defender. Can he beat out a second? Requiem. No, he has it. It wasn't actually that close to net. I thought it was a little bit closer. Walcott off to the side. Delusion touched away again. Lim pushed to the side, but a nice clear from Requiem works out for them.
There's a soft shield around the goal of Chimpwits. As soon as ground zero get nearby, they immediately freeze up, kind of let the ball roll over to Chimpwits and pass them possession. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's nerves or they psych themselves out when it comes to shooting, but they really need to clean up that gameplay right in front of the goals.
They have to do something. They need to look at this game and say, look, we have to reset. Although it is 4-0, we have beaten them before, we can do it again. But I have to say, I think this is the Chimpwits we wanted to see. Those aggressive, fast plays is what Jake was talking about with Delusion and Requiem, but as well as Deca, because Deca was one of the strongest players in terms of stats last series, but Delusion gets the touch, but not the goal, unfortunately. Ground Zero are now looking down the barrel of Chimpwits' rifle.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough place to be. We can excuse losing to Chiefs. We can excuse losing to Tainted Minds, but you're not allowed to be stomped by Chimpwits and claim you're a top 4 team.
I honestly thought Ground Zero would be doing a lot better here, but even the stats, all there, Chimpwits, so many goals.
CGM has donuts.
Yeah, it's not what you want to be seeing from the side of Ground Zero. We haven't exactly seen them at their peak, but we can't keep on making excuses for them. We can't keep on saying, oh, I mean, they played against the better teams, and now they're coming up against Chimpwits, who, in all honesty, looking at it, from a rational perspective, isn't one of the strongest teams in league play.
No, they're middle of the field.
Middle of the field.
Yeah.
They're not,
middle of the pack.
Bottom, but it seems as though that Ground Zero are kind of cementing themselves in the bottom of the roster, because 2 weeks down, and it's looking like they're going to lose a third matchup, and you don't want to be going 1-9 in the first 2 weeks of league play. It's not what you want in the
Thankfully, their run is clean from this point, because if you do start 1-9, at least you're not out. But like CJM, that's the thing that blows me away for this series. Like last season and the season before, actually, I think it's every season, CJM has had really good stats. He may not be on a team that ends up in a really good position, but the fact you can have good stats and be losing does mean that you have a lot of potential to carry through games. It just means your team composition hasn't been great. But now we're seeing him losing, but also not getting on the board, which is something that is completely uncharacteristic for him. So I don't know if it's nerves, because he's not playing at a level now where he should be stomped out completely. Chimpwits is not entirely outside his realm of skill. He should be playing up to that.
Yeah, you have to give it to Chimpwits, though. So far, they've been playing exceptionally well.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Delusion has just been up there in their business, and then even though he does kind of have the patience to be back when he needs to be, although, there was some awkward times of, Requiem coming in and a bit of an awkward touch, but it seems as though in that match there, they cleaned it out, they ironed out all those kinks, and it's working so well for them right now.
Yeah, I love the Deca Delusion combo. That is so good. I love the way that they trust each other, they come forward, and then they have these great offensives. And I think that's the thing that's separating the two teams right now. Ground Zero doesn't have a two-man offense that can reliably score, where Deca and Delusion can safely pump them away.
Heading into game number 4, Chimpwits wanting to close out Ground Zero and make sure that Ground Zero are at rock bottom. Ground Zero wanting to make any sort of moves into league play, because they have to. Now 15 seconds down, Deca off to Delusion. Delusion rotates out instead. Deca, it is the solo play, challenged away by Lim though. Delusion sitting there, just kind of waiting in the center. Now Requiem gets a quick shot off, and Chimpwits are keeping all this offensive pressure.
Yeah, good demo there to try open up the net, taking out the third man to try keep the pressure going, but the respawn wasn't in the nick of time.
Now Requiem. Deca with a touch to Delusion. Delusion, a good push, but it gets blocked off by CJM. Requiem to Walcott. Walcott goes for the solo play. It's a triple challenge. 3 people in the midfield. Lim is ready to receive this challenge from Delusion, but look, Deca is there. You see how aggressive and fast Chimpwits are being, working so well right now.
Yeah, the Deca Delusion combo, so good. Gets past 3 players, allowing the offense. Billy unfortunately wasn't able to get up in time, but they're still managing to maintain pressure, unless Deca misses that shot.
Yeah, it is sad to see, because we've said it multiple times, but they have those foundations of play. They are getting those passes, but when it comes to actually shooting the net, it's side post, back post. It's out of the net at all, or the defender just gets to it. And Chimpwits, if they can play like they did last game, a very clear, clean cut gameplay. But Deca now gets the touch. Ground Zero on the back lines. Requiem to Delusion. Delusion with a banger. Now Walcott has time, and look at how much recognition he gets for it. He passed it away. The 2 challenge from Chimpwits, the awkward rotations. Now CJM clears it up to Lim.
Yeah, both Walcott and CJM have a ton of boosts, so this is their opportunity to push forward and try and make a play. I'm scared, though. It seems to be another triple commit. Nobody there in defense, but this time it didn't cost them.
Chimpwits looking to close out the series. It's a lot closer from both of these teams in the recent times. It's up. It's sitting in front of net. Can Ground Zero get there? No, they can't. Chimpwits wanting to do something with it. Delusion waiting for the doink. Couldn't quite get there. Requiem clears it out to CJM. CJM off to the side. Ground Zero Getting the touch. CJM off. Now Delusion, again, manages to rotate to the side. He gets the boost as well. Push off to Lim, though. This is the free shot. Multiple shots from Ground Zero. Nothing quite comes of it, though. The pressure from Chimpwits is relieved, and they can sit safely while Delusion tries to make something happen here. Ground Zero looking very awkward right now.
Yeah, very reminiscent of Game 1. Ground Zero with all the pressure, but unable to score, as Chimpwits' defense staying strong. It's like a bulwark against that ball.
CJM rotating out of there. Walcott off to Lim. Lim with 0 boost at all. Ground Zero. This could be the opportunity they needed. 2 minutes remaining. They want something here. Walcott, can he get to the ball? No, he can't. Chimpwits fast in defense. The pass back to CJM works. Now Lim into center, but there is no one waiting.
I can appreciate the fact they didn't want to triple commit. They're starting to rotate back now, but that was the time you wanted to run forward, and you need someone to close out these goals.
Walcott with the solo play. Now Lim is up for it. CJM gets the finish. Ground Zero have done it. That's 1-0 lead.
That's what they needed to do. Now the guys are coming forward at the correct times. Their rotations are much cleaner. They're in position to actually get the final touches, and it was a 3-man play. They got to take advantage of the fact they've been working together for all of offseason.
This is the Ground Zero that we did not see last game, and now we are seeing them keep the pressure on, rotate so well. Chimpwits are kind of sitting in defense going, what can we do? And seems like Lim says nothing.
And with only 1:33 left on the clock, it looks like we're going to be having a Game 5, and that just shows how tight this should be.
Wow, Ground Zero. Now it is 2-0. It seems as though this is going to go to a Game 5, Courier. With 1:30 remaining, Chimpwits, they can come back. We've seen a lot of very back and forth gameplay from both these teams, but Ground Zero playing so well right now.
Yeah, Chimpwits' general gameplay has been good. They've just had a couple of problems with connections. They've missed a couple of up-air opportunities. I think once they've shown that up, it's going to be a phenomenal Game 5.
Ground Zero looking too good right now. CJM with a touch, off to Lim. Delusion and Deca off to the side. Requiem was the last line of defense. CJM has an open net. The double touch. Can he do it? He does! CJM, what a goal!
That's what I want to see from CJM. The double touch dunk coming out. We need to see that scoring potential. He has been a superstar in the offseason, and now we're getting to see it in league play.
What a play from CJM. The shot onto the backboard. The double touch to finish. Ground Zero, 3-0, and rightly so. So clean right now.
What an inversion of last game. Chimpwits getting that stomping 4-0. Ground Zero turning around, potentially doing the exact same. The goal's open. This is their opportunity for it. That is the 4-0.
Ground Zero, amazing. Chimpwits getting absolutely stomped right now. Ground Zero, Lim saying, this is our game. This is our series. We're not going down without a fight.
I love that touch by CJM there. He doesn't go up to the challenge. He gets in the way to pass it back down to his teammate, who he sees will have an open shot now that he pulled Delusion from the net.
Both these teams saying each individual game is either of ours, because all the play from Lim. Could this happen? No, it couldn't. But you see these individual plays working out so well. The passes are there, the boomers onto the backboard, and it's a wide open net for Lim.
This is something we need to see from them. They had the plans before, and now they have the teamwork that is coming all together. And we even saw between the 2 attempts in that play that they had a player rotating back to midfield, potentially going to be able to go back and defend if the clear came out from Chimpwits. They've cleaned up their gameplay, and it's showing the difference.
Ground Zero, 5-0. We spoke about them before being one of the strongest teams in the competition, and up against Chiefs and Tainted Minds, the scorelines were not the best. But look at this 5-0 victory from Ground Zero.
This is the Ground Zero we saw in qualifiers. This is the team that went 6-1. This is the Ground Zero that could fight up against Tainted Minds.
Oh, it's just a battering. They are beating the dead horse. Ground Zero are actually beating the dead monkey, sorry. Chimpwits, they're down in this game, but the series will be tied up. So it's 2-2. Both these teams need to say, well, Ground Zero, first of all, go, hey, we smashed them. We can do it again, no problem. While Chimpwits, similar story, hey, we did it last game. We can do it again in this final one.
And there's a lot of pressure. For the Chimpwits team, outside of Delusion, they don't have as much experience inside the league play. Requiem has been there a little bit before. but it's not the same when you're just getting absolutely punished 6-0. Can you bring yourself back into the game and be like, okay, we need to trust each other now, even though we've let each other down?
You know what, I feel like it's going to be a little bit more toxic than that. I feel like Delusion and Requiem would be saying, they're idiots, we can do this. Their words, not mine, to clarify.
Wait, talking about each other or the other team?
No, I think they're saying that about Ground Zero.
Well, that's good. I'm all for people hyping up their own team by talking smack of the other team in private chat.
Yeah.
Because then nobody suffers, but you get to hype your team up.
Both these teams, though, they are showing that they can play like the better teams. We've seen, instances of where you're like, oh, that looks very reminiscent of Tainted Minds, or that looks very reminiscent of the Chiefs gameplay. And I think that because Requiem has such kind of close ties to the Chiefs team individually, he kind of goes, oh, I can, keep them as my coach or my leaders because then I'm able to base my gameplay off theirs.
I mean, Jake is doing a lot of coaching at the moment. So, I mean, when people do reach out, they have the opportunity to be taught by the best. And I wouldn't be surprised if Requiem was leveraging that. Yeah,
absolutely. They played not the best right there. Chimpwits looking to obviously clean out the game because they had that first game and that I think that third one as well. They played so well. It was such a convincing victory. And that last game is like, wait, it seems like Ground Zero now have the front foot, and can they finish it out here, or will Chimpwits actually be the victors?
I think it was more than a foot. It was like meters, like several meters.
Well, we are heading straight into the next game here. Game 5 of league play for Chimpwits versus Ground Zero.
Well, that's a good demo to start, opening up the goal, and now the follow-up just coming out. CJM, that's what we need, the offensive start. You put Chimpwits on the back foot straight out of the gate.
Oh, Walcott with a beautiful challenge. Delusion didn't even get a touch to that, actually, and CJM capitalizes on it beautifully.
Strong showings is what we need to see coming out of Ground Zero. You can get in their head. That's like 7 consecutive goals. It's hard to bring yourself back from that. When we saw some trust issues coming out of Chimpwits earlier in the day, that's just going to double down the problems there.
Lim has a bit of time to rotate out. Gets a clear, but Decker is nice and fast on the wall. Chimpwits with the touch. Delusion wanting to do something with it. He gets it, but he has 0 boost. 30 seconds down. Ground Zero still with that 1-0 lead. Lim tries to go for the touch. Requiem is up for the ball here. Chimpwits on the back foot. The pressure unrelenting from Ground Zero. Looks very reminiscent of last game. Now Lim, he booms it again. He does. It goes straight to the backboard, but Decker is ready for the clear. You see the quick rotation from Lim, a good pass there. CJM, can he finish it off? He goes for it. He's been incredible, this man.
He's come back. This is the CGM that we've been talking about. The man who can just pad his stats with goal after goal and just entirely run forward on a team.
Entirely indeed, Courier. Ground Zero, CJM being that pivotal player, doing so well right now. I am so impressed by him.
That being said, the Chimpwits aren't down and out. Strong start from Delusion, just winning the kickoff.
It seems like it's a very back and forth affair. I thought it was going to be, pretty much all Ground Zero's game because they were already 2-0 up with a minute left, but Delusion says, no. We're crawling this back. This is our series. You're going to go 0-3 in your first 2 weeks of league play.
That's pretty rough. It's cool to see that Delusion ran straight forward as well. He knew the kickoff was going to be a little bit of a cheeky play rather than that typical drive back, which he's been doing through the earlier part of the series.
Requiem with the clear. Lim with a beautiful boomer. Now Decker touched again. The interruption from Lim trying to force out the awkward defense from Chimpwits, but Delusion being so good in the defense on their sidelines. The triple commit from Chimpwits could work out not exactly in their favor. Decker now gets the touch. Chimpwits, this is their opportunity. Delusion into center. It's in the net. The game is tied up.
This is incredibly tight. We're not even halfway through, and we are at 2 apiece. Anyone's game, and it is critical that either team can pull the win here.
Both of these teams. Oh, I am so impressed by the way that they're both playing. It's so back and forth. It keeps it really interesting for this matchup, and it's the 5th game, and there are so many goals on either side. The offense is there from both teams.
Yeah, it just shows how hungry they are for the win. Both of them need this. Their first match they can actually put onto the board. They've both fought Tainted Minds. So this is their chance to start climbing that ladder and taking those top 4 slots that they want going for the end of season.
Delusion trying to get the aggression there. Doesn't quite make it. Now Delusion has a bit of time, but Walcott is nice and fast to this ball. Look at the rotations from the side of Ground Zero. Requiem is there. Delusion waiting in the sidelines. The quick shot almost works out. Ground Zero wanting to get it clear. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this matchup. Delusion still as aggressive as ever. Requiem gets beaten out by Walcott, but no boost. Deca, there is only one person in net, and it's CJM. Can Delusion finish it off? He does! 3-2 to Chimpwits.
We've seen this all through the series where we have Deca setting up the big play for Delusion, who's just waiting for that straight-on goal after he pulls out the defender.
What a shot from Delusion. The angle, you had a look as well. Top corner. CJM had the whole net covered apart from that one spot, and Delusion goes, yeah, I got this. No worries at all.
That's my spot.
Yeah, that is my spot. He parks the bus in it. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It could be either game, or either one's game, I should say. Now Requiem to Delusion. Again, he tries to get the angle, but you see Deca's there as well. The triple commit from Ground Zero. Delusion now challenging the ball with little to no boost, doing as much as he can. Lim interrupted by Deca. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Requiem off to Delusion. Gets interrupted by CJM. Deca rotating backlines. Here we go. Here we go. Lim with a beautiful clear. CJM, can he get the touch? He can't. Delusion touched off to the side. Walcott again into center. And now Lim is getting demoed. What a shot. It works out. Lim wasn't getting demoed. Lim took the goal.
That was a beautiful play there. They noticed that the defense was ready and roaring. Deca was sitting there at rear post, so they annihilate him, bringing that to 3 apiece. This game is hectic.
Walcott goes, you know what? Tainted Minds demo us so we can demo our opponents. Chimpwits are being made fun of right now. Ground Zero, it is 3-all for both these teams, as close as it's ever going to get. Game number 5. Delusion now has ball control, tries to go for the double touch, doesn't quite get it. CJM cleared off to the side. Walcott going for this interesting play. Should instead be going for those demos because it worked out so well for them. Deca again off to the side. Now Lim. Walcott waiting in the back lines. Delusion, the patience from him working so well right now.
I love the way he's been playing. Last season we saw him being incredibly greedy. Now we're seeing him in the midfield going for these sniping shots or to come forward to finish a play. It allows him to rotate back so quickly for defense. And I think that is something they're utilizing quite heavily.
This could be the chance. Walcott tries to go for the flip reset, but interrupted by Deca. Now the patience from Requiem. He has no boost, actually. Delusion's the last one. The last line of defense. He gets to it. CJM gets the shot in the angle. This man has been insane this game.
The Walcott demo was good, but unfortunately didn't finish the play. They're locked in their half. The opportunity is ripe for the picking.
Billy with the shot. It's working out so well. Can Chimpwits finish it off? Delusion is there. It is 4-3.
46 seconds left on the clock. 4-3 coming out. Delusion coming from the midfield and annihilating the 2 defenders of Ground Zero.
Ground Zero sitting so awkwardly in defense there. They're saying that, oh my goodness, it's coming, it's coming. And all of a sudden, Delusion goes bang. This is the goal.
This is crazy the way that it is so tight. They're both incredibly hungry to get their first win of league play.
Look at this here. Chimpwits wanting to stay aggressive, keep on the offensive. The patience from Delusion actually wanting to waste a little bit of time. 30 seconds on the clock. Can Ground Zero finish it off? Can Chimpwits cement themselves in league play? Ground Zero wanting to do something with this ball here. Requiem with the touch. It's a sitting there. But Deca was a little bit too slow to that one. Walcott, oh no! It's worked out for Ground Zero. It's 4-all.
Another huge bump from Ground Zero. The equalizer for a side. We could have another Game 5 overtime. This is how it's going to go. That is how hungry and even OCE is right now.
That was so disgusting. What a bump. Delusion goes, oh, this is my clear. This is, no, it's not. Bang, out you go. 15 seconds remaining. This game is as tight as ever.
What great adaptation, though. Noticing how Delusion plays, then going for the bump to clear him out. That is what we want to see. The players changing up their style to try leverage.
Chimpwits have the offensive pressure here. Walcott with an awkward touch. 1 second remaining. Oh, it goes in! Delusion finishes it off. Game 5. 5-4 victory.
Right on the overtime as well. Just completely steals it from Walcott and puts it away. Delusion has stepped up this game and taken it all the way to the edge. Chimpwits getting the big win.
An unfortunate touch from the side of Ground Zero. They are now 0-3 in league play. Not the best from them, but Chimpwits, wow, what a series.
That is the Delusion that we saw, and we have been waiting to see all season. 5 goals off 7 shots.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible from both teams. Jake, I have to say, I am so impressed by the way that both of these teams played against each other. It was phenomenal.
First off, Delusion is clutch as hell. Oh my god. 5 goals in game 5. Delusion's like, yeah, I'm bringing back that like magic from last season, right? Crazy. Interesting point. Chimpwits look like Chiefs. I don't know if you agree, but they sit back, they get really nice pass plays. I like this. I like the style.
Well, I made that similar point of how, you know, Requiem kind of takes you guys as, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say idols, but, you know, he looks at you guys as kind of like the ones to be. And a lot of OCE does that as well because, you know, you look at Chiefs gameplay and they're already, you know, smashing at 6-0 right now. So they look at them and go, oh, we need to, you know, work off. And if we can take a leaf out of their book, it's great.
I mean, Chiefs are definitely a team to look up to.
Toot your own horn there.
Yeah. To talk about Ground Zero, though, they really started that series really slow. Again, we were saying this is a team that's more on their level. We want to see how they play.
Yeah.
And their rotations are just awkward, you know? Like, they're not quick. They can't keep pressure. They're just like, the ball will go somewhere and they'll be like really far away and have to come from like across the field. They're just not ready to like keep that consistent pressure that you need at this level.
And I think a big part of it for me was that they don't have the goal scoring potential until CGM started to kick on. Yeah. And they just have to overcommit to try attempt and they just get punished every time.
Yeah, they're not opening up the net either. Like, they're not creating open goals for themselves. Again, I think they're a bit slow, and they really need to work on that. It was great to see CJM come out and show that, like, carry potential he has, but they can't rely on that. Good teams will defend that.
And I think that's where the demos were pretty pivotal for them.
Oh, crazy.
When they started pulling demos in, because, like, we actually can't score because we don't have the potential to get past, but if we just annihilate defense, we can actually do it.
We mentioned at the start of how Walcott's always been a great demoer, and then in that last game, they're down by 1 goal. Walcott gets a demo. They equalize. They're down by 1 goal with 20 seconds left. CGM gets a bump.
Yeah.
I really want to see them doing more of that.
Yeah, we could have like the old or the mutated Minds versus Chiefs kind of situation, but like the mini version.
Yeah, it honestly, like, I don't think Ground Zero were playing as Tainted Minds as
no, they weren't nowhere near as aggressive or fast.
Honestly, Chimpwits look like the budget Chiefs right now. It'll be interesting to watch them.
Yeah, it was an incredible showing from both of those teams, and we'll be. Oh my goodness! Okay, you know what? I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock after that last game.
It was a crazy one. That was great. That was great.
Yeah. Well, to continue from what I was trying to say before is that we're going to be back after a short little break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys.